Every one of you, wherever you are, welcome to the Shades End and a brand new video today. This video, as you will all know, it's all about Chelsea versus Leicester City, this coming Sunday match. So I wanted to make this video under the scorching sun, and after a lot of rain over here, we suddenly see a little bit of sunlight. It feels good to actually stand under the sun right now. So yeah, talk about the match after the Super Cup loss. This will be a Sunday night match at the Premier League, and this will be quite an interesting match. Frank Lampard's first match as a manager at Stamford Bridge. It'll be a big match because it's the kind of match that we need to win if we have any chance of making it to the top 4, top 6, however you put it. So how we are going to go about it. And before I go on to all that, I'll talk a little bit about Tammy Abraham and the fact that the disgusting news of racism that comes in and pops up from time to time, and the fact that it is coming out from some of the most frustrated Chelsea fans just shows that how bad our mentality has become over the last few years, that there's a lot of managerial changes, a lot of changes. I mean, I can understand when you go to some other part of the world and you have racist comments coming at you. You know what happened to Hudson-Odoi last season. We were playing some Europa Cup match in some in Eastern European country somewhere, and I think in Greece or something, and he had some racist chants against him. It was from some other club. Here, it's our own club. Fans are actually racially abusing our own player just because he missed a penalty. I know it's an important penalty. I know he might have not gone ahead fit, but it's not his fault. And even the best of players miss penalties. Messi has missed penalties. John Terry missed a penalty in the Champions League final 2008 in Moscow. So I don't see what these guys who disguises themselves or call themselves Chelsea fans are not even Chelsea fans, if they really should not be. There is actually no place for racism, irrespective of who you are, Chelsea fan or not. I mean, that's a very low life thing to do actually. And Tammy is a very young guy. He's just gonna get improved. He's gonna be improving. So just saying anything bad to him, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You can only tell them that to improve. It's just a Super Cup. What will Chelsea would have achieved had we had Tammy gone ahead and scored the goal, or in that matter, we have gone ahead and won the Super Cup? Really nothing. But now it looks really bad on us that a club as big as Chelsea that we have been over the years, we are coming across things like we have fans who are behaving so badly, and this is not the way Chelsea Football Club wants to be showing. I think I saw latest pictures of Tammy Abraham in the practicing for this match against Leicester, and he doesn't look like he is that bit concerned, and that's a good thing to go. Being a professional, these things should not get into your head, and I think I'm very happy that it has not gone to his head. But people should be more understanding that this is not the thing that they should be saying. There should not be any racism. Anyways, going away from this, let's go to the Leicester match. It's an interesting match Sunday night. This is, again, as I said before, this is kind of match that we need to win in order to show that we have some chance of making it to the top 4, top 6, But still, at home, Frank's first match as a manager, it's against a team which is like one of the best of the rest. I remember a long time back, 25 years back, when Chelsea used to be the best of the rest. We used to finish 5th, 6th in the season, but we used to go out there and beat the likes of Manchester United, the big teams of that time. Now is a situation when you have the likes of Leicester, Watford, Wolves, some of these teams who are actually become the best of the rest. They are playing well, and Everton are the kind of teams which can go out there and take points out of you, 3 points even. And Leicester has, over the years, in the last few years, from the time they've become the champions of Premier League 3-4 seasons back, from that time onwards, there have been occasions when Leicester has played well against some of these top teams, including Chelsea. I think they beat Chelsea last season, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be interesting, and they have a very good side. If you look at it, Chelsea's side is not as strong, on paper at least, as not as strong as it is good to see the way we play against Manchester United, and especially against Liverpool in the Super Cup. But on paper, obviously, we are not as strong a team that we used to have when we had Hazard. And now Now this team, it will be different, but obviously the way we played, but we are playing at home, so obviously we have to make the most of that. They're playing at home, getting some 40,000, close to 38 to 40,000 Chelsea fans going out there and supporting the club, supporting Frank to go ahead and win this match will be interesting. Now, if you look at head to head, if you look at the on paper thing, Leicester doesn't have too bad a side. If you look at the midfield, that is the only one where I think we are much better off. As I stated before in one of my videos, Chelsea has a midfield which is third or fourth in the Premier League, other than Man City, Liverpool, and maybe Spurs. I don't think there's any other team in the Premier League who has as good a midfield as we do, especially if you keep in mind that you have Kovacic, you have Jorginho, and obviously N'Golo Kante. And obviously with the likes of Mason Mount and Ross Barkley, if they show some level of the kind of form they're showing, especially Mason, and with Loftus-Cheek going to come into the team, he's injured, it does show a midfield which is good enough to be third or fourth. So that'll be interesting to see, and that's where I think that and Kepa to a certain extent, though I think Schmeichel is a good goalkeeper, very good goalkeeper, but then with Kepa and our midfield, other than that, our defense, our wingers, our strikers, and if you compare it with the Leicester ones, there's not much of a difference. So it'll be interesting to see how at the home ground, I mean it's sort of a partisan crowd, if our home based fans are able to get the passion going so the Chelsea players go out there and get the 3 points. So it's very important for us to get these 3 points. As I said, this match, then we have a match against Norwich, I think there's a match against Brighton. So these 3 back-to-back matches before the international break is very important for us. We need to win all these 3 matches. If we do get to win all these 3 matches, certainly we'll have 9 points in 4 matches, 9 out of 12, and it will not look that bad. The score line against Manchester United last weekend was really bad. It looked really bad. We did not play that bad, but it looked really bad, the score line. So that will not look really bad when you get 3 wins out of 4 matches. That time that Manchester United loss would not really matter that much. So interesting. So how we who are the players going to play? Now this is our 3rd match in like 8 days. We played Man United last weekend. We played Liverpool in the Super Cup in Istanbul. We all went all the way from London to Istanbul, and now we are back at Stamford Bridge playing Leicester City at home. It will be interesting to see what kind of team Frank comes in. Because of our injuries, we have that 3-4 players we are short of. Chopping and changing is not so easy. Remember how last season Sari was able to do so, chopping and changing. He used to play 2 players in the Premier League and maybe 2 other players playing in the Premier League. This is not something that Frank still can do at this moment. Maybe in the future when most of our players come back, maybe that time he will be able to do that. But at this moment he can't. Now let's say who are going to play for the team tomorrow. It's kind of interesting. I came across somebody saying Tomori should start. I am not saying that he should not. He had a pretty decent outing when he got his chance in the Super Cup. I'm not sure that it will actually happen that Tomori is going to start this match, because I think he will still go with. Now I'm not sure about Rudiger. He's fully fit to play this match. Now it'll be great if Rudiger comes back, because it will be interesting. But we would not like to see Rudiger 70-80% fit. We want him to be 100-110% fit, fully fit, which means then he comes back. Otherwise we don't want him to come back, play a couple of matches, then again get injured, and then again it's a lengthy layoff for him, maybe for 1 month, 1.5 months, again he's sidelined. That we don't want to happen. So it will be interesting if Rudiger is fully fit. If he comes back, it will be great. But I think it will be Kepa at goal. We have Zuma and Christensen starting in the center. Alonso starting, though I always feel that 3 matches in 8 days is too much for any player. I think Alonso should start in place of Emerson. Yeah, I thought I should be saying Emerson starting, but I said, yeah, it will be Alonso who should be starting. Now, Alonso might not be the best of defenders, but he is a very good knack of scoring goals. Something you should always keep in mind, once in a while, all of a sudden, when you don't expect, he will come up with some goals when other players are failing to score goals. And that is also something to look into. Again, as I said, stated that Emerson will be playing his 3rd match if he plays tomorrow. against Leicester, do you actually believe that he should be starting this match? For me, I think Alonso should start. I mean, it will be a little kind of a weird thing not to see someone like Alonso not starting. Who knows? He can improve. You never know. Under Frank's influence, he might improve. Unless we give him a chance, we will never know. So for me, Alonso, and obviously Aspi, Dave on the other side. Midfield has to be like Jorginho and Kovacic, Kante. Should be there, but I think it's Jorginho and Kante along with Barkley. I know Mason Mount will be a favourite, and the way he's playing is good, but again, 3 matches in 8 days. I really think a little bit of changing needs to be done for the players to not feel tired. I mean, a lot of these reports were coming out with the Super Cup match that these Chelsea players look so tired and ragged, and they did look really tired at certain times of the match. So obviously that needs to be taken care of, because this is a must-win match for us. We need to get those 3 points against Leicester, and if our players look tired, and then as what has happened to us in a couple of seasons, last season and even the season as Conte, they suddenly concede a goal out of nowhere. Last season it happened. It was so funny. I know obviously at this moment it sounds funny. It was not funny last season when it was actually happening, that just after the halftime is to concede goals, and we don't want something like that to happen. All of a sudden we are conceding goals, and we have to then run and get 2 goals going, which is not so easy to do at this level, even if it's Leicester City, which is a very good team, as we say, best of the rest. So it will be interesting to see. So we need to see that all the players are kind of fresh. They cannot be fully fresh, but kind of fresh. I do want to see Pulisic play at home at Stamford Bridge, so I would like to see him play. Pedro, I don't think will be playing, but then who will be playing in his place? Is Willian fit to start? I'm not actually sure. So there are quite a few things, 50-50s that might happen, because Pedro played really well against Liverpool, and at 30, 31, 32 years old, that is something, an amazing performance for him. But saying that, doing that in Istanbul, coming back in 3 days to London, again doing that performance, it'll be tough to ask for anybody. So yeah, so I want to see somebody else coming in. We are a little short of players right now. So yes, Pulisic, and if Willian is fit, I doubt that is the case. Strikers, that's my main point. A lot of players, a lot of fans actually have come out and said that Tammy should start. And understandably, Tammy will really get something going if he starts this match. After that, everything that has happened in the last 3 days, missing the penalty, the racial abuse, everything. So Tammy should actually make sense for him to start. Giroud started the other match, so Tammy should start this match. But again, 3 matches in 8 days, and I feel Michy Batshuayi should not be sidelined this day. I'm a big Michy Batshuayi fan. Everybody knows that. I was a big Higuain fan last season. I wanted Higuain to get a lot of chances, and he did a little bit of chances, scored some of the goals. And this season, I've always been a Michy Batshuayi fan. I think that if you have a striker like Michy Batshuayi in your team, he should get his chance. I mean, all the talk of AS Roma and he leaving, at this moment we need a player like him. We cannot let go of him. We cannot just go on with the entire season with a transfer ban with just Giroud and Tammy Abraham. So we need to give. Now Tammy got his chance starting the match against Manchester United. Giroud started his match against Liverpool in the Super Cup. At home, I know most likely Tammy will start, but if going by the rounds, if Frank thinks a little bit, I think Michy should be given a chance here. I think he is a good enough player against teams like Leicester. These are the kind of teams where I think Michy could be good enough to score a goal. But again, Frank knows better. Obviously he does. So we'll go with what Frank comes up with. I will love to see Michy start the match though. So anyways, let's see how it goes with the what Frank thinks. Now about the team, the scoreline, what it could be an ideal scoreline for this match. Tough to call. Again, I say. Again, it's the kind of match where we need to win, but at the same time, if we make mistakes, that will cost us the match. I think a 1-0 will be good enough as long as we get the 3 points. But you guys let me know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we're going to get the full 3 points? Will the scoreline be 1-0 or will it be different? Could it be 3-1? Could it be 1-1? Let me know in the comment section as always. Let it come in, guys. And as always, until next time, ciao.